The cost of living here continues to rise. Many of us are looking to jump the ditch for a better life. Even Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison is using New Zealand as an example of how things could be so much worse on the election campaign. But how different is the situation? To find out, we're joined by a Kiwi who's already made the move from New Zealand to Australia. His name is Dmytro Miklaszewski and he joins me now from Melbourne. Dmytro, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for getting up early to speak with us. How long ago did you make the move?
So we came over here in November, so we're about 6 months in, almost.
Okay, and you've come with your husband and dog?
Yeah, we have.
And tell me why you left New Zealand. Like, were you otherwise happy here and it was just the cost of living that has made you leave?
Oh, 100%. So I guess situation, when we lived in Auckland, we had everything we wanted. We had the house, we had the beautiful cars, we had the great friends, all that kind of stuff. It just literally got to the point where we were living like right up to the edge of our means. And so it got tiring. If you wanted to do anything, you had to do more work to make more money, just to go out for a couple of beers with your friends and stuff. So it was definitely cost of living that got us over the line.
And you had a house in New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you were paying mortgage and you had your, obviously, food and outgoings, etc. What's the situation in Australia? Have you managed to buy a place there?
Well, we're about to buy. We've just we've put down an offer on an apartment in Southbank. So, it's looking really, really good. Inner city living.
Well, congratulations. How much better off do you think you are being in Australia, say, per week or whatever, versus New Zealand?
Oh, you know what? It's just things like paying $1 less for petrol per litre. We pay like $4 for a 3-litre thing of milk here. So what we're able to do, we can put away like $2,000 a month just in savings between the both of us.
Wow. And that's
we to live like frugally. Yeah.
And you weren't able to do that in New Zealand?
No way.
That's crazy.
Especially not in Auckland anyway.
What do your family think that when you tell them this?
Don't know. I haven't been able to see them since we got here because we were stuck in Auckland, of course, and we couldn't see everybody before we left because we were still in lockdown.
Yeah.
But we've spoken to them on the phone, and my mum is a little bit apprehensive because she just wants me to come home. And I'm like, not a chance.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Are there any downsides? I mean, obviously you're away from your family, who you love, but are there any downsides to being in Australia that perhaps you didn't foresee?
Yeah, look, so when you get here, like getting started there's a lot of hoops to jump through. I guess to kind of preface it a little bit, I'm an Aussie citizen, Aussie-born Kiwi and all of that kind of stuff, but it was still quite hard to get started. Like Medicare and all of that can take a little bit of it can take a toll. But once you finally get everything done, totally worth it. It's just jumping through all the hoops to do Australia, because they've got so many rules and regulations here and hidden costs.
Yeah. I'm actually finding this quite... it's quite sad to hear you talk like this about your experience. I mean, obviously it's good for you and you've made the right choice, but there must be so many other people who, in New Zealand, who feel the same way as you, and it's like, what's stopping them?
Oh, totally. And I mean, work here in Melbourne is abundant. Like, pay is better. There's so much work. And it's just cheaper to live. Groceries, lending rates are heaps better here. So, yeah.
What sort of work do you do? What line of work?
So we pretty much just picked up where we left off in Auckland. We used to work for Les Mills. And, it's not to say that Les Mills paid terribly, because they didn't. But we've just come over here and we're with Fitness First over here, and just same. Yeah. Working in the gyms.
Yeah, interesting. Well, best of luck to you, and thank you for coming on and sharing your story. You're going to vote. Are you able to vote over there in the election?
I have to vote. It's compulsory because I'm a citizen. Otherwise you can find.
So you'll have to decide, ScoMo or Albanese. You've got to...
Can I vote for my dog?
Some things don't get better overseas. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.